After 2015, there was a very quiet and a sad period for us. We went out on stage and played our songs, first time in a long time. There was a special feeling attached to that. Bittersweet. Because of obvious reasons. When we started jamming again down here, it was like a continuation of that moment. The more we played our old songs for fun, the more fun it became.
Yes, exactly.
And I was surprised because you were getting even more excited than I was.
Yeah, I love playing them. I just love playing our songs again.
It feels great to say out loud, finally, that we're going to go on tour and we're going to play a lot of these songs.
Yeah.
I just got back from Texas. I was down in Dallas, and my friend Joel and I saw Steven Wilson live in concert. Truly, it was a bucket list event. But why are we here? Because we're here to talk about Rush. While we were in Texas, Joel and I were planning on our trip. We were going to sync up. His family wants to come with him. His kids want to see Rush this time. That's a first. And that's the amazing thing about this tour, is an opportunity that wasn't there before, especially to bring the younger generation and expose them to the greatest band of all time. That part of this is amazing, but we're having this conversation. And I told him about some of the stories that I've been hearing from you guys. And this is where I want to thank you. Your outpouring of feedback has been amazing. On Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube, you responded to my call when I said, guys, please share your stories with me. Please tell me about your experiences, because last week I heard a whisper in the darkness, a whisper of expensive tickets, and people actually talking about the cost of seeing Rush this time. And that was news to me. Again, the Citibank pre-sale, which we're going to talk about, hadn't even occurred yet. So these are really early days, and there were whispers. And then it grew and grew. And then I put a call out on these social media platforms. And I said, guys, tell me what's up. Tell me what you paid. Share your experience. What did you find? Do you want to go? And maybe you can't. Just share your thing. I just open-ended question. Tell me, guys, about buying Rush tickets this time. And you sure did. And we're going to go through those. And I can't wait to share these with you, because I'm just reporting the news here. I'm reporting what you gave me and gave us as a community, what you shared with all of us. And I'm very thankful. This video is for you. Thank you for sharing so much with all of us. So I'm down in Texas with Joel, and we're talking about it, and we're making these plans. And he's like, okay, well, how about we get adjoining hotel rooms, but we'll buy our tickets separately. That way we can still have kind of an event together. We just won't happen to sit next to each other. And I said, okay. In the back of my mind, I'm going, I hope I can afford this. Because I've heard how much some of you have paid. And it ranges. And I'm going to show you these. I'm going to show you all of your feedback in this very video. Everything from $14,000 someone spent in LA. $14,000, including $200 just for parking. $14,000 all the way down to people paying around $300 a ticket-ish. So I've heard this wide span of prices, but still, I'm going to share all these with you, and we are going to talk about that. But then we found out that maybe we can't afford this time. And I told Joel, I said, should we be having this conversation? Should this conversation exist? Should you and I actually have to say out loud to each other, I'm not sure I can afford to see Rush. I've been seeing these guys since 1991. Since Roll the Bones. My YouTube channel alone has 60 Rush videos on it. You guys know how much I love Rush and how many decades I have loved Rush. And to have a conversation with my best friend saying, I'm not sure I can see them because I'm not sure I can afford it. Because the tickets are step one. There's also travel there and hotel. There's all these. So meanwhile, it turns into a massive expense. And those of us who live on a budget, who are not millionaires, I'm sorry, and as one guy put it, I have to eat. Or I have to pay my mortgage. And now we're making this choice between seeing. So, what did I do? I looked up something. I keep my concert tickets in my CD cases. This is Roll the Bones, $19.50 in 1991 in Worcester, Mass. That's right, $19.50. A couple years later, Counterparts tour. I saw them down in Texas. This one was $25. Okay, that was also in Dallas, just like Steven Wilson. A couple years later, Test for Echo tour. What did I pay? I paid another, here we go, another $25. You can see it right up here, right there, $25. So 19, 25, 25. Now, fast forward to 2008. I just pulled some examples for you guys of the times I've seen Rush. Fast forward to 2008, Snakes and Arrows. What did I pay? What did we pay to see Snakes and Arrows down in, it looks like, where were we? Well, we're somewhere in Texas. Yeah, we paid $42. And that seems going to be a $9 fee on there as well. And my goodness, the fees, taxes, expenses, everyone wanting their cut of things, that can't help the situation much either. Just observation, just evidence. And that's what this video is about. This video is about the evidence that I've brought in that you have shared with all of us. I'm going to share this with you, the stories, how much people have paid, and we're going to talk about this. And honestly, I don't like that I have to make this video, but I feel that I do. And I feel this is a conversation we must have, that all of a sudden I can't see Rush because I can't afford it. And as one guy said this very evening on Facebook, he said, do Geddy and Alex, he asked, do Geddy and Alex even care about the working man? The song that started, yeah, do they care about, meaning all of us who don't have substantial means. And I don't like that that question even has to be asked. As Joel put it this way. He said, that's not like a couple of really nice Canadian boys, is it?
And our music is special. It really is special. When being away from it for a while and revisiting it, I realized how difficult it is to play, but how rich it is in its music and lyrics and everything that it represented.
10 years ago, I had a feeling that it would be my last time to see Rush. Because of that, I brought my wife and a very new fan of Rush, someone who's extremely passionate about Rush. I brought my dad. So my wife, my dad, and I went to see Rush in Boston, our 40 tour in 2015. I had a feeling it would be the last time, and it was the last time that I got to see Neil play with Rush, and Neil play his drum solo. My wife just mentioned that to me today. She said she knew how special it was that she saw Neil play his drum solo for the last time, for that venue, for us, on that year. And you guys know we lost Neil. And that struck so many of us to our core. And Neil has been so important to us and remains so until this day.
One of the cool things about how this is progressing, all the songs we're putting together, and I know 35 songs or so far, for a set that's going to be, I don't know, around a couple of hours, is the fact that we're going to cover a lot of things and change it up night to night, but we'll always have a part of the show that's a tribute to Neil and his memory of him and everything that he was to us. And it's going to be beautiful to be able to celebrate him every single night.
Yeah.
Such a great loss. And after his death, it became even more evident, meaning given the evidence that we had at hand, that was it. That Geddy and Alex would, rightfully so, sail off into the sunset and enjoy their retirement. And we'd hear some occasional stories about them, on social media. We get some updates about what they're doing and different little projects they're working on. And that seemed like enough, right? And it was just great that, that we know they're there. We know that they're deserving their well-deserved break. Especially, I cannot fathom, first of all, what Carrie and Olivia have dealt with since Neil's passing, but his brothers as well, Geddy and Alex. That loss, okay? It weighs heavy on their hearts. And this phenomenon of whether they should tour and should there be a new drummer and is it Rush without Neil? Please stay tuned. We're going to discuss this specific subject matter in my next video, where I have chosen, handpicked, a bunch of Neil Peart lyrics to support whatever I'm going to talk about in that video, and I hope you stay tuned for that. But yes, it's been 10 years. It's been since 2015, and then all of a sudden, boom! Holy crap! They make an announcement. We're going back on tour. We're going back on tour. You know, that's how Alex put it in the video, and it's like, okay, what? And it's a lovely young female who's your drummer. Hello, what? And this has sent so many of us in a tailspin of emotions and feelings with regard to this subject matter. And then on top of all of that is this ticket phenomenon. What does it cost? What is the cost of seeing Rush? Is it worth it? Can we pay it? Can we afford it? Can it be done? And that's the part that I hate. I hate having to make a choice on a financial level. When you love something so passionately and you want to be with other people and enjoy that moment that we get to see not far from us on that stage, Geddy and Alex and now Annika playing drums, and with Geddy and Alex when we get to see Rush again, and but wait, we can't see Rush again because I can't afford $400 a ticket, because I can't even afford maybe $300 a ticket. I'm just giving you hypotheticals here, but for some people this is the choice they have to make. As one guy puts it, I have to eat. Another guy, I have to pay my mortgage. I'm sorry, I have to skip this one. I've seen him 25 times. I'd love to see Rush again, but I can't because the cost is too high. Yeah, I don't think, given all of the evidence I've gathered, given everything I've seen, that I don't think this is Geddy and Alex trying to price gouge us. That's not at least what I'm gathering from this. I do think that every freaking corporation wants their cut. I think that taxes are through the roof. I think that fees are through the roof. I think that there is an inherent problem with the pricing structure of tickets these days. It costs too much to actually perform this business. And of course, in every business, for instance, when you raise taxes on something, the corporation never pays that. It goes to the customer. The prices go up. That's how things work, generally in business. Rarely does a corporation go, oh crap, it's a 30% more to do business here. I'm going to absorb that. I might go out of business because of it. No, they always pass it on to us. This is how business works. And in this case, yeah, there seems to be a problem. There seems to be an inherent, very real problem with the pricing structure of tickets in this world today. And it's not just America. There seems to be a problem. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know who to complain. I don't know what to even say about it. I'm just saying the evidence is there. Your comments are clear. Your experience, what you shared with all of us, they're clear. So guys, thank you for joining me. I am Eric. This is the Loudboy Experience. And I say, let's go. I'm sharing this with you because it's out there. Not because I endorse it, and not because I'm personally thought it's like it says what it needs to say, but I want to share with you what's out there. And the following images that I'm about to show you is share all these comments with you. That's what these are. I'm simply reporting to you what I have gotten back from you when I asked the question, tell me about your Rush ticket buying experience for the 50-something tour. So the first one is, here's the meme. That's right, Geddy and Alex dancing joyously on a pile of cash. Alex with bottle in hand. There you go. So that's the meme. I wanted to share that with you because I just happened to find it. I'm not saying I find it funny. Okay, I won't make any more excuses, but I wanted to show it to you because it is out there. So next up, here's one that I got back. Just got tickets from Madison Garden tonight. So stoked. 4 tickets. Row C were $836 plus the fees. So I guess this doesn't even include the fee. So it could be closer to $1,000. This whole Citibank thing is something that we need to discuss. I understand making deals with corporations, and yes, I guess you can make back end money from that. I'm guessing so. And really, when Joel said to me, this isn't like a couple of nice Canadian boys, maybe he was onto something. It's very likely, and if Ray is still their manager, Ray is the one making these deals. Ray is the one setting up the infrastructure and the ground plan for how this tour will be launched and through what means and with what partners. So that, it may have nothing to do with Geddy and Alex. I don't know. I'm simply reporting to you what I'm finding, that people ran into a wall. Many people are getting tickets, right? People who have Citibank credit cards are simply, racking up dollars on their credit cards because they have Citibank and they can buy them earlier than us. And then we started to ask, Joel and I were asking this question, like, okay, does that mean, do they set aside certain seats for Citibank people, or do they get to choose from everything? Do they get in just the front of the line because they happen to be with Citibank and there's a partnership with Rush? Question mark, question mark. I don't know. I'm reporting to you what I've found because of this. So these people are saying, because I'm not a Citibank member, I don't get tickets right now. Resale via Vivid. Someone got it for £420 at a Madison Square Garden, and another person had to wait till Monday for the pre-sale. Here we go. This is a little bit more reasonable. Even with inflation, $234 at Madison Square Garden. Upper bowl, so they're like pretty much nosebleed on Geddy's side. And this guy's fanatic is very excited. Next up after that, it sure be nice if they offer live stream. I know, really, right? In today's day and age, why not offer a live stream? And even at, I don't know, $50 a pop to do a pay-per-view, to watch a live stream of a show. What a great thing, right? You could stream that out to potential thousands upon thousands of people and make that much money in, times whatever amount you charge. Seems like a really cool idea. I know seeing them live is different. Of course it is. My family, for a total, had $500 budget. All right, so they had $500 to spend. That's how much, and that's another question I asked you guys. I asked you guys, what is the most you could spend? What do you feel comfortable? What can you, within the confines of your budget and how much money you make, how much can you spend on this tour? This person let us know, $500. Guess what? They ended up spending $730 a ticket because I love this so much. The mom accidentally bought the superconductor package for the Saturday show in New York. Oh my goodness. So 4 total times $730. I'll let you do the math. That's over $3,000 if my math is correct. Ouch. $223 for 2 in Cleveland. It's the cheapest they had, so I assume that's per ticket. We got 3 in Dallas at $400 a pop. So remember, I paid $154 on the floor in Boston to see them in 2015, and now in Dallas. They say pretty decent seats. You know it's not the floor. You know it's not up front. Pretty decent means, well, it's kind of back and it's not too crappy. It's not super nosebleed. That's at least my interpretation of what pretty decent means. All right, next up. Here we go, folks. Pretending like, I'm trying to see my thing. Pretending like they haven't priced that ticket in the top bands yet. Oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Laugh out loud. I paid $49 in 2003. So this person obviously hit a paywall, right? How much they can spend. And he recalls back in 2003 that he paid $49. That is in line with the $43 I paid in 2008 for Snakes and Arrows. So that kind of tracks. $836 plus fees. Boys and girls, I meant. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Well, they're charging around $400 a ticket, like they need the money. Again, just telling you what people have read. The ticket cost is not in line with the Permanent Wave tour that I went in 1980. That was about $3.50 pounds. Come on. And I won't even comment on the last one. $369 per, and that's the Citibank pre-sale. That seems halfway decent, by the way. And it makes me ask this question. This whole Citibank part of this equation. And this is what Joel and I shared after we had lunch, the day after we saw Steven Wilson, okay? I'm about to drive back from Dallas to go home. And we're in the parking lot, and we just had a nice lunch. And he says to me, it's like, it feels like they just want people to be eager and on edge for this tour. Like, there's a Citibank pre-sale, and there's this pre-sale, and if you go over here, there's this. And it's like, oh, but yours go on sale Monday, and now you have to get in this virtual line. And all of that, though, does add a certain level of tension. I do not begrudge anyone for getting paid for what they're owed. I do not begrudge anyone for using capitalism in the free market. And if the supply and demand are there and you can be paid X amount of dollars, if you're saying, okay, my services are $100 and people will pay it, and they'll maybe pay a little bit more to get that service a little bit faster or a little bit, speedier, then guess what? You deserve it. That is the free market. So I never hold anything back from anyone making money, ever. I'm completely for that. I believe that is how society should work. Okay? We as an audience, we as a paying customer, we determine the value of something with how much we're willing to pay for it. $400 a ticket right there. This guy says, oh yes, Annika is going to do us proud. And then someone says Italia. And of course, I've heard a lot of this last one that you see on the screen. Please come to Ireland. I've heard Vancouver. I've heard all these cities across North America and other places. Rush, please come here. And my response has been, who knows? If this tour goes well, they may add an additional leg and additional cities in the future. But for right now, I'm calling it the 7 Cities of Gold tour, right? They've chosen 7 cities. And I can tell because they're really smart about it. From just a physical standpoint and what they're able to do. There's a date, there's a day in between, another date, and they've spaced out the 4 days in each city. That way, because again, these guys are not getting any younger, and it can't be getting any easier to do such a grueling task as putting on a tour, and this seems to work for them. So again, the 7 Cities of Gold is what the 50-something tour is all about. Next up, $1,278.66 for 4 tickets in LA. I'm in. 4 garden shows and both Ohio shows, yes, but the prices killed me though. $223 for 2 in Cleveland. It's the cheapest they had. Rush acknowledges the cheap seats. I paid $8 for my first Rush concert, $15 for a farewell in a Texas Summer Tour in '79, also with 5 other bands, but Rush still rocks. Here is another one, charging circa $400 a ticket, like they need the money. This person showed me the actual receipt from their tour. You can see they paid $346 from YouTube. For me and my kids and a few older grandkids, this is a once-in-a-generation moment for our family. We all decided that we're going to discuss and worry about how many $2 bills we're going to be donated to the Rush Musical Memorial. We decided to call our road trip full circle because in many ways we'll be completing a family journey that started back in '75. Cheers all. Thank you, Stewport. Love you, brother. Always awesome to hear. This is from Rush Will's page. I have not got my tickets, but will be attending 2 shows. One with my Rush pals, 40 years, another with my son next week. I never thought this would happen again. Dude, Will, by the way, Will's Rush page, check it out on YouTube. Great page. Will and I support each other, and I love that you're here. Thanks for that comment, bro. Appreciate it. Here's another one replying on Twitter. $290 in Cleveland on September 26th. Can't wait. Here's another one. $50 my limit. I won't be going. Ticket prices have gone crazy. I ended up paying just shy of $15,000. That's $15,000 US for 4 seats advanced preferred parking, and all of the added city taxes. That's 11th row, second level, upper right stage. The reserved parking for the Kia Forum was $200. Pretty pricey, but it is Rush in LA, so totally worth it. Nice job, Rebecca. Thank you for sharing this with us. I hope you enjoy remortgaging your house. I'm just kidding. Steve, I saw them live back in the 70s. They were great. I like the new drummer. I'm sure the live shows will be awesome. Back in the 70s, the ticket prices were around $20. I just proved that with my 1991, right? It was 1950. Well, what are they worth now? 400 or more? Yes. Yes, they are. That's what we found so far. I got 2 today for the City Card presale. Out the door with taxes and insurance was just over $600. Insurance? Okay. Willing to pay more, but they just took the first ones, not even the best seats, but at least I got them. So this person's just happy to have Rush tickets. He paid around $600. Great. Good for you, Jim. I can give a few prices from today, but they are the first few rows from which they tend to be crazy expensive in New York. $900. Dallas, $1,100. Toronto, $500. I expect a lot lower prices on Monday. I do like this one. Vivian, good friend of ours on Twitter. She has go follow her on Twitter, by the way, Vivian2112. And she was telling us about one of her very first Rush concerts, and she paid $11.50. Love that. And love you, Vivian. Appreciate you sharing that. My first tour, Madison Square Garden. First section up, Alex's Size changed my life. I'm glad you mentioned this. So that was at $11.50. My first concert, the one I shared with you earlier in Worcester, Mass., I was on Alex's Side, and it was spectacular. And by the way, for the Roll the Bone concerts, there were still the big old rabbit blow-up things from the Presto tour back there. So, I mean, those were a holdover. And I'm like, wow, those are still there from Presto. 2 Chicago shows. In a splurge in New York City to get close. I just have to hide the CC bill for my better half. Wow. Okay, so this is an interesting scenario. He wants to spend the money. He's gonna spend the money, but then has to hide that expense from his better half, who I assume is his wife. Thank you, Michael, for sharing that. Here's another Eric. I've seen them over 40 times. Good for you, bro. First show was Grace Under Pressure. The last one was R40 at the center in New Jersey. I'm sorry, it still kills me right now, but I can't spend $500 for upper tier tickets. Hopefully that may change. 40 times he's seen these guys, all the way since Grace Under Pressure, and now he can't afford it. After pricing tickets, it looks like they don't have love for their fans as I thought, but I'm going to buy one. I mean, I'm not crazy. So, and you can read it right there. The expense is going to be, it's going to be great for this person, but he's still going to do it. And I think that may apply to a lot of people. And this guy, Damon, says, I'll wait for the movie. Cute. To which I replied, as you can see right there, yes, Rush, please make a 4K Blu-ray of this tour. 4K, okay? HDR, 4K. HD is a past. 4K. Shoot it in 4K, edit it in 4K, and then finish in 4K onto disc, okay? Please. If you need help with it, I'm available. My video production services are available. Please. 4K Blu-ray, you know when to call me. All right, this is from Twitter. Saw Rush for $8 a tickets in 1980. Tickets now upwards to $4,000 each. Another one, Sith Lord writes, glad to see these guys get back on stage, but a longtime Rush fan, be happy that it was Rush without Neil. I wish them success on their tour. That's really nice of you to write. Glad they're going to enjoy playing again. Cannot afford the tickets, but I've seen them since '77. We've heard that several times now. I've seen them since long ago. I've seen them many times, but now I can't afford it. We'll be getting a hotel package when they open up on Monday. Chicago is about $1,900 for 2 people. Another guy, I just spent $4,400 on a 2112 Platform VIP thing. It only included 2 tickets. I paid around $700 for 2 seats for the floor in LA. I haven't looked. I saw Rush the 27th time in Phoenix, in the third to last show ever. Seeing what people are saying that they paid for tickets, I'm relieved that I will not be going. I've had a hard time paying for these prices even when Neil was alive. Toronto, night 3, second row center stage, exact center, with 2 hotel nights, $4,000 in all. Closer to the heart package. Thank you, David. Justin, I'd love to see them in Chicago, but after what it's going to cost me per ticket plus an overnight trip, it's going to be well outside my budget. The last time I saw them was at the Forum, their very last show in LA. I'm really sorry, Justin, man. Yeah, I'm sorry that the price is taking you out of the loop on this one. Lori, dynamic pricing doesn't help either. You guys hear that? Dynamic pricing. You know, in this age of AI, I think airlines have been doing this for a while. For instance, using cookies in your browser, and they know how many times you've visited different websites. They know which websites, how many times at their website, what tickets you've checked, and how many times you've done it, and where you live, and possibly how much money you make. That's only going to become more prevalent in today's shopping experience for almost everything we buy. This dynamic pricing, okay? No longer will this pen, okay? This pen will no longer cost $1. To maybe John in Sheboygan, okay, who actually makes 10 times more money than me, they're going to charge him $5 for this pen. But they might charge me 75 cents. Dynamic pricing, okay? Depending on who you are, what you're doing, your interest level, how often you've checked, your social media habits. This is a reality coming to all of us for our shopping experience. And this is interesting that Lori mentioned this with regard to tickets. This is the first I've heard of it. And that is concerning. Cleveland show had the lower bowl tickets for $967, and they were listed as prime, not VIP. Just crazy. Thank you, Lori, for sharing that. Mo, Facebook. I'm a Rush fanatic, but I cannot justify paying that much for tickets, although I'm sure it will be a great show. Thank you, Mo. Matt. It sure would be nice if they offer a live stream of the show. Yeah, we got you, bro. I hear you. Here's another one. Tom, less than $200 each for Saturday night in Chicago. That's better. With inflation, yeah, that's not bad. Tom, I'm really happy for you, bro. That's good stuff. Here's another one from Al. Man, I miss the days where you had to stand in line with everyone else to get tickets. Yeah, no kidding. And then I recalled in the same conversation the fact that I remember early one Saturday morning getting on the phone to Ticketmaster or Ticketron or whatever it was back then on my old receiver phone, right? The old school kind. That's why I'm doing my hand like this and not like this. And it just, you're kind of waiting in line virtually back then through a phone system, so you could buy the best tickets available, right? That was the line. But even before that, yes, you went to an actual physical box office and you physically stood in line for tickets. You guys remember those days? And I kind of miss that nostalgia as well, right? Being in that moment, being with other fans, sharing your enthusiasm and excitement, and you finally get up there and you grab those tickets and you're going. You've got those tickets in hand. Physical tickets. All right? Not this printed out crap with QR codes. I hate that crap. No, but physical printed tickets, right? Those days. Dude, I appreciate you sharing that. Here's one from Mike. I paid $800 for a good seat in Madison Square Garden, $400 for a bad one. Interesting. I was not in any situation, but I was spending the money all at once in a lifetime. I thought I bought a ticket for someone, but I can't afford to go and have never seen Rush in their life. So he's trying to buy it for someone new. I had a wonderful friend growing up, Patrick, who took me to concerts and introduced me to Rush, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mike. I appreciate it. Yes, got 2 for Fort Worth, slightly better than average, and they were a crap load of cash, so someone just paid a lot of money. But hey, we're talking about 2 of my 3 favorite Canadians. Nice. I appreciate that, Rance. Appreciate that. Keith got 3 different nights in Toronto, paid around $450 to $650 Canadian dollars for different seats. Again, guys, multiple seats at that cost. We're talking well over $1,000, okay? Just do the quick math. You got it. At $450 times 3, that's minimum $1,200, so that's like 13 something, right? At $650 times 3, that's closer to $2,000. So just kind of giving you a framework and a context for all of this. John got 2 on the floor, first showing Sunday at the Forum. Jeff, $700. 2 main floor, left center, mixing in Cleveland. I do like this note. Here we go. Michael, absolutely love Rush. I've been fortunate to see them 12 times over the course of the career here in Cleveland. So glad they have chosen Cleveland as one of their stops for this limited tour schedule. Sadly, I will not be able to attend as prices are out of reach for me personally, but I hope all of you guys enjoy anyway. Michael, that was such a lovely way to say it. I'm really sorry that you won't be able to go, seeing how much you love Rush and seeing that you've seen them so many times. I think from this context, you very much wanted to go, but it seems like price is stopping you, right? And because you said, I won't be able to attend because of the prices. Michael, I'm sorry you're having that experience, bro, but I really do thank you for sharing with all of us. Thank you, Michael. Doug, I think it was 1992, Roll the Bones tour came to New Orleans. When tickets were on sale, we showed up hours before the record store opened. Remember when record stores sold tickets? He asks. Better yet, remember record stores? I was like 5th in line. I got 4th row center tickets for $25. That tracks. I got mine for $19.50. I was on Alex's side, and we were looking down onto the stage. We had the overview of the stage. It was great. But I mean, they weren't nosebleed. They weren't as good as yours. But man, nice job, bro. So anyway, you got them for $25. I love Rush, but will not be paying hundreds of dollars to sit in the nosebleeds. Doug, I feel you. I've been going as far back as you since Roll the Bones. I want to go this time, but I have a feeling I am in your shoes as well. We share this experience that we just can't afford this tour. Thomas writes, got tickets for Cleveland, $249 and fees. I was happy with that. I expected Taylor prices. I assume he means Taylor Swift level prices. Does she price gouge? She probably does. Rush has integrity and didn't gouge fans. I expected Rush has integrity and didn't gouge fans. Okay. In 1981, I paid $9.50. Nice. In 2015, I paid $100. Yeah, I paid $154 in 2015. So thank you, Philip, for sharing that. Appreciate it, bro. Here's one from Troy. I got my VIP tickets for the first Cleveland show. The most I've ever paid for tickets, but a price I was comfortable paying. What surprises me is the commentary I'm seeing on various sites about fans thinking this is about greed on behalf of Geddy and Alex. The costs and expenses of these tours has risen exponentially over the past 20 and 30 years. I'm familiar with band travel as I work in the charter industry. Thank you. In Troy, I knew that was part of this equation. In fact, I mentioned that earlier in this video, that everyone wants a piece of the action, whether it's local, venue, state, federal taxes, to everyone associated with tour in the smallest means wants their little cut of the pie, right? And those pieces of pie add up. And all of a sudden, it's not a zero-sum game. As they want more, we're going to pay it. Okay? It's not like they get more money and we pay the same amount. These things fluctuate, right? With the demand on whatever venue, place, or whatever. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Troy, I think you're onto something. I have not once thought of or vocally expressed that I think Alex and Geddy are completely behind this. It's always been the furthest thing from my mind. My goal here has been to simply share our experience with what the heck's going on now. That's what I want to share with you. This isn't about blaming Alex and Geddy. All right, James writes, they ran $100 to $1,000 plus fees. So I got 2 shows booked. All right, bro. Nice. Debbie writes, yes, I'm going. $365. Inflation has hit everything, including ticket prices. So who is surprised? Fort Worth, Texas. Awesome, Debbie. I wish I could be there. That's where I would have seen them. I'm glad you're going. I really am. All right, Jeff writes, I'm stoked that they're touring again, but these prices are just prohibitive for me. I don't blame the band, and I'm sure the tour will be a sold-out expense. I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you, bro. Tyler writes, $50 my limit, so I will not be going. Ticket prices have gone crazy. Fred writes, $700 for 2 pre-sale, Inglewood. Back to the place I saw the last show. I'm glad you're going. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it, bro. Bob writes, as bad as I want to go, I refuse to pay these kind of prices. After 15 times, I'm not going to make it. I'm sorry, Bob. Really am, bro. Rich, I almost pressed enter twice for a pretty nice tickets at $309 each in Cleveland, but then I started overthinking. I said, it's a year away. What if something happens to me? And my friend told me, and I thought it over, so it sounds like, Rich, you're not going to pull the trigger. I know. It is a ways out. I know. It does kind of give you a sense of like you want to pause for a moment and think, especially right now, right? Maybe your financial situation in this very moment, this week, this month, cannot afford this, but it's hard to project out for some of us that, heck, things could change, right? For any of us, 2 months from now, I might be flush with cash and, I may have gotten some kind of bonus or birthday, who knows what, and you have the money. But a lot of times it's that snapshot in time for a lot of us. Do we have the money in that moment? And so I hear you, Rich. I hear you big time. Will says, I paid $346 in all and $270 plus fees. And Vanessa writes, I paid way more than I wanted to, and I have no regrets. My brother was the biggest Rush fan, going all over the world to see them and went all over 200 shows. That's awesome. He even made custom tour jackets that he had autographed. Well, he passed away in 22. I'm sorry to hear that, Vanessa. I really am. He passed away in 22, and me and his friends will not miss this show for the world. Vanessa, that's such a beautiful story. I'm sorry you lost your brother, and I think it's truly wonderful that you now have this opportunity to see Rush again and to honor your brother and to live this moment in his memory. Beautiful. And with his friends. Such a beautiful thing. That's thank you for sharing that with us. That was really lovely, Vanessa. Lyle writes, I didn't get tickets. After seeing that they were 300 section in Chicago were $209 each. Ron writes, I got floor seats on the aisle right next to the soundboard in Chicago for about $800. Also bought tickets for their first night in LA. Similar seats, same price. William writes, I don't think he's going. He got to see them 25 times in their prime. I hear you, William. I didn't get to see them that many times. I do feel very blessed that I saw them many times, including the last time for me on the R40 tour. So I'm glad you shared that. Sean writes, I'm not going. Seen them 35 times since 1990. Haven't been able to bring myself to listen since Neil died 5 years ago. When this news hit, I didn't know how to process it. Geddy is on his 3rd book tour. You get an impression, fist bump, and autograph for a couple $100. Then there's the Rush branded beer, mustard, maple syrup neckties. Not nearly as cool as the Rush Limbaugh ties. Yeah, that's what Sean says. And Dalton writes, no thanks to the tour. I need to eat. Gunter writes, today I got tickets for Toronto shows 1 and 3, each for 424 Canadian dollars, but the most expensive part will definitely be the flight from Germany. Okay, dude, good for you, Gunter. To end the hotel in downtown Toronto. Dude, Rush on. But who would have thought we'd see Rush again? I feel you, Gunter. I feel that excitement. And dude, I'm stoked. Yeah, it's going to cost you a few bucks, whether it be German or Canadian dollars. But I'm really happy that you're coming over here, dude. I really hope you enjoy the show. Rick writes, in all caps, I just sold all of my Rush albums. It's still not enough for tickets. Put a fork in me. I'm done.
And we can start working on the dance routines that we wanted to do for so long. So it's amazing. This is going to be great. Just give me a hug.
I may not get to see Rush this time. Man, I can barely get the words out. This is harder to say than I wanted. I may not crap, it's hard to say. I may not get to see this tour. I may not get to see the Rush 50-something tour. Whew, I barely got that out. That's hard to say. That's hard to process. That's something I feel like, again, just a feeling that I shouldn't have to process. I shouldn't have to say. I shouldn't even have to. There seems to be a problem given the evidence that we have. A lot of you have paid what seem to be pretty substantial prices for Rush tickets, and you're fine with that. Dude, lady, great. Seriously, I'm glad you can afford it. If you can afford it, amen, go for it, enjoy. Seriously, I'm glad you can. But, as one guy said earlier today on Facebook, has Geddy and Alex forgotten about the working man? Without making it so personal to Geddy and Alex, let's rewrite that. Has the industry forgotten about the working man and woman? Should it be some kind of exorbitant luxury fee to see our favorite artists? I know it should be special. You should pay more than you would pay even for a fancy meal, probably. Meaning for a great experience, to be in proximity to the people that have made your life better. I can understand that. That makes sense. But when people are choosing between paying their mortgage, between feeding their families, between, I have to go to work every day. I'm the working man or woman. I work my butt off every day. And guess what? A lot of us live by a budget month to month to month to month to month. To add another $1,200, it doesn't exist. It is not possible. And then it immediately points to the problem at hand. How can we rein this in? I don't have the answers. I'm simply asking the questions. And I hope that's enough for now. I wanted to share with you the experiences throughout our Rush family. I wanted to share with you what our Rush family has been paying. Those of us in our Rush family that haven't been able to go, that cannot go to see Rush this time, I wanted to share that with you because it is happening in real time right now. A lot of us want to buy tickets. I want to go hang out with Joel and his family next June in Dallas or in Fort Worth and have an amazing time to see Rush. That's what I want. That's my heart's desire. I was going to bring my wife with me. And we were going to have an amazing time together. Our two families melding and sharing this experience together. But it shocked the living crap out of me. And Joel actually, when he said, I don't think I can go either. It's just too much. I hate that we're even having this conversation. I don't like that I have to make this video. But I wanted to share this with you. And I thank you for going on this journey with me tonight. Like I said, in my next video, we're going to talk about the artistic side of this. Choosing Annika as a drummer, and Alex and Geddy, and the tour, and the music, and the loss of Neil, and replacing him, if you will, and all of these things. That's going to be our next video, but this one is about the tickets. It is more about financial things. And dude, the last thing in the world I ever want to talk about is money. Any rational person, aside from accountants and, I don't know, a few other people, do not like talking about money. But in this case, though, the money equals our ability to go experience and be with Rush. And therefore, it is something worth talking about and something that I'm glad to do in this instance. Guys, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for your input. Thank you for sharing your experiences with me. And I hope you join me next time when we talk more about this tour and the artistic side of things and the choices and our feelings about it and all. So again, I am Eric. This is the Loudboy Experience. Guys, I hope you have a really good day.